Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian, Telesol, Just a Touch, and Mark Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy cars. Mark Auto Parts Ghana with you for the long run. Coming up, bullets, pellets in the eyeball and wounds to neck and chest. 2 policemen, including a commander, still in critical condition as they come under attack in separate incidents in the Ashanti region. We'll bring you details of a RECSEC meeting called following the shootings.
Fear, there is some insecurity, fear of, well, the people who have been butchered. There are people who cannot go to their farms because they fear there is a killer out there.
Also in this edition, Chairman of the National Democratic Congress touts competence of newly elected executives, insisting it is the team that will lead the party to victory in 2020.
I believe the NDC is parading one of the solid teams ever since our all-star team in 2005. I strongly believe that the turnaround is also coming again.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the party describes his race against Koku Anyidoho as shadow boxing.
If you are teaching your son boxing, there will be a time there will be shadow boxing. He believes that he could win, but I considered it to be shadow boxing. So I didn't think that there was anything wrong with him at all.
Mamobi General Hospital recording increasing cases of diarrhea and other diseases attributed to poor sanitation in some Zongo communities, including Nima and its environs.
Look here, we have space. It's all about the money.
How can a landlord say he don't have money while you have millions of cities to build and then you don't have money to even build small toilets facility? Does it make sense?
As the world marks World Toilet Day, the Joy News Health Desk takes you to the affected communities and investigates why landlords are increasingly providing air conditioners for their tenants instead of toilet facilities. We also have sports.
Yes, we do. 18 countries confirmed for the next African Cup of Nations. Asamoah Gyan is issuing one rallying call. He says it's time to finish hard. And
later, former UBS banker Kweku Adoboli vows to fight what he describes as crude deportation processes by UK authorities.
We will keep fighting. We will change the law. We will get the Shaw Amendment so that those who were born or brought up in the UK should no longer be deported.
We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Details shortly. Now let's head to the Ashanti region now. 2 separate attacks on police in the Ashanti region have left 2 officers, including a commander, with severe bullet wounds. The Esiwa district commander sustained bullets around the neck and chest when he was ambushed and shot by persons believed to have murdered a 59-year-old farmer. The second officer is said to have been attacked by armed robbers and has pellets lodged in his eyeball. Today, a regional security council meeting has just been concluded to deal with the situation. Erastus Asaridonko has been following the development and joins us on the line. So Erastus, we are getting some information about fresh arrests in connection with this. Tell us a bit about that.
Exactly. So information we're getting from the town is that yesterday the police gave them 24 hours for the chief to provide those who mounted the roadblock and those who fired the shot leading to the hospitalization of the police officers. And so I learned that the chief also organized his people and made announcements in the whole town. And out of that, 3 people have come out, including one Tugui, who is believed to have fired the shot that hit the Esiwa police commander.
Now, Erastus, would want to know exactly how these 2 officers came under these attacks. Recount to us.
Well, so if you follow, last week, a farmer was butchered. His 18-year-old son, who he was sending to school, also sustained machete wounds, deep machete wounds. He is responding to treatment. Now, he mentioned some names, and police were following up on these names. And that is how come the district police commander and some police officers who went to the town. Now, there was a roadblock along the way. They stopped to check on why the roadblock, and they had shots fired from the bush, and that's the account they've given us. And that is what led to the hospitalization of the police commander, who we learn is responding to treatment.
So, we earlier reported that they were in critical condition. What's their status now as we speak?
Well, so the young boy who survived the murder is responding to treatment at the moment, per our information. The commander, just from the Konfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, he is also responding to treatment and is in a stable condition as we speak.
Erastus Asari Donko there, bringing us the latest on that two incidents involving two police officers. But we'll get more in our subsequent bulletins. But let's stay a while longer in the area, because the committee investigating the Manso Nkwanta shooting incident, in which 7 persons were killed by police, say there's no evidence to suggest that the victims were armed robbers who engaged in exchange of fire, as claimed by the police. This is containing a statement signed by Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah. No further details of the findings were made available, but government is rolling out a series of measures to deal with the situation, including an order for the police administration to launch formal criminal probe against the 21 personnel involved. Fred Smith is a member of the security desk here at Joy News and joins us with details. So what are the measures that have been put in place, Fred?
Well, MFA, the 21 police personnel involved in the incident who have been found to be principal suspects, this according to the statement signed by the Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah, should be interdicted by the police administration, and they are also, as you said, to face criminal investigation for their conduct in this whole incident. In the interim, government, in consultation with their families and community leaders, will provide support for dependents of the deceased persons. And government is also calling, or is assuring the general public that due process will be followed in the pursuit of justice, and calls for continued calm and patience pending the conclusive determination of this matter.
Well, the spokesperson for the Manso Nkwanta youth, those who were falsely accused of being armed robbers, we're told, Alhaji Shoabu Musa Sharif and his cohorts have been raising some concerns about it. Of course, Ohiming Teria will give us some more details on that. He's been interacting with them and joins us on the line. Ohiming, so this is the latest directive from a government, or a statement from government on it. You've been interacting with Alhaji Shoabu and the family members. What exactly are their concerns now? Are they satisfied with measures put in place?
Come again, MFA.
I'm asking that following government's directive on this Manso Nkwanta issue, you've been interacting with family members, of course, spokespersons as well. Are they satisfied with measures put in place so far by government?
I have had a discussion with the Zongo chiefs, and they are happy because right from the inception, they've maintained the innocence of the 7 people involved. So for now, for them, they are happy that government has some sort of backed their claim, and to the extent that declaring the people innocent in that regard.
Is there any other concern they have? Is there anything else they want government to do regarding this matter in particular?
They wouldn't want to jump the gun, as they put it. Once government has issued a statement on this, they want it to stay for now. But what they have been doing is to also restrain members of the Zongo community to also be circumspect in their celebrations, because they believe that this could, elicit some wild jubilation among the community members. So they have been talking to the Zongo youth to also be circumspect with their celebrations, and they'll be modest in that regard whilst they await the final determination of the case.
But you've been interacting with the police as well on this matter. What has been their reaction following this statement from government?
It's been difficult getting official response from the police. Those that I have been in touch with are people who want to speak to me in their private capacity, not to say this is what the police service believes in the Ashanti region. But for some of them, they learned the Inspector General of Police has traveled outside the country. So they will want to wait for the IGP's response on this. But I must say that almost every officer that I have spoken to in the Ashanti region, as far as this issue is concerned, seems not to be at peace with their government statement. They believe that this will go a long way to affect their operations. And some of them describe today as being a very bad day for them. they wish that they didn't come to work at all.
My colleague Ohiming Teria there bringing us the latest reactions following a government statement on the Manso Inquanta issue. It will go down in Ghana's history as one of the longest congresses organized by a political party in the recent political history of the country. 48 hours, it took 9,000 delegates to elect a new batch of leadership for the party, would witness the former national organizer of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu Ampor, for becoming the chairman of the party, with General Secretary Johnson Asiedu Nketia retaining his seat after an overwhelming endorsement over his former deputy, Koku Anyidoho. Maxwell Agbagba has a wrap of the weekend's events.
It all started with this. Key members of the party jabbing the current government. Former President John Mahama.
The NPP has proven in government that it is always reluctant to pursue their own, despite the swelling stench of corruption around their administration. The inept handling of the banking crisis has led to the almost complete collapse of the local finance sector.
Haruna Idrisu.
We have in the last 22 months at least assisted President Nana Addo Dankwa to compose in history. He has beaten the Guinness Book of Records the largest size of government and an elephant size of government of 110 ministers.
And then some words from party founder Jerry Rawlings.
I have just one sentence message. Read about what we have to say, but I want to make an appeal that we listen to ourselves.
After these came voting and counting, dragging slowly for more than 36 hours into the night. The next day and the next night, it attracted the anger of some delegates. Chairman of the Elections Committee, Kofi Ato, has explanations on what possibly dragged the process.
Yes, it's also because of the numbers. The conference was in 3 parts. They had to set up for 9,039 people. This is the first time. The last time I went to Kumasi, it was 3,500.
As the results trickled in, it generated conversation among some top party officers. Greater Accra chairman Ade Koka believes Koku Anyidoho's decision to contest Johnson Asiedu Nketia was a wrong move.
That if Koku had consulted me, I've asked him to go for another position, right? And it was a wrong move.
Disappointed national organizer candidate Anita Disoso has some concerns.
Now there is no votarian in the game. All the votarians are out. So let's think about it.
University of Ghana political science lecturer Dr. Ali Duseidu says the general voter behavior of Ghanaians is changing.
If I vote for somebody that speaks like me, or behaves like me, or worship like me, but that person is not competent enough to be able to meet the contextual challenge moving forward into 2020, then we're going to be in opposition. Right. So I think what the thing that's coming up from voter region is actually a kind of snowballing effect that's developing from the national, electoral behavior of our citizens.
General Secretary of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, retained his position, polling 6,642 to beat Koku Anyidoho. The former Deputy General Secretary says, although he lost, the party's interest will always come first.
Party first. Party first. It had to come to an end, so it's come to an end. The delegates spoke. The Electoral Commission declared results. We have no option.
Lawyer Sami Jemfi was elected Communications Director with Kweku Boahen and Godwin Akogan as deputies. Former President John Mahama told the delegates he would be working hard to return the NDC to power in 2020.
That I'll work tirelessly to see the party return to the Flagstaff House, no matter who our delegates select.
Maxwell Agbagba with that wrap of the longest ever Congress in the recent political history that was organized by the NDC over the weekend. But we can hear from the new chairman of the party, Samuel Ofosu Ampor, who has been touting the competence of the newly elected executives, insisting it is a team that is sure to lead the party to victory in 2020.
The array of personalities on the ticket was frightening. Frightening because at a point in time, I asked myself. Then I had calls from people who said, you know, at a point in time there was this rumor that the Council of Elders have met and settled on one candidate, and so the rest of us are being urged. The calls that I got across the country, and the threats that people issued to me not to resign or to step down. And then I said, hey, if this is the voice of the people and the adage that the voice of the people is the voice of God, then let me listen to the voice of the people.
But were you contemplating? Did it occur to you?
It did at a point in time. I mean, people even suggested. I mean, you go to places and people suggested that why not waiting, I mean, for some other opportunity rather than the chairmanship, you know.
Is this a solid team? Can you work together, essentially?
I believe the NDC is parading one of the solid teams ever since our all-star team in 2005. When I say the all-star team, in 2005, when Dr. Famnaje became the chairman of the party, and Johnson Sedun Ketia became the general secretary, myself as the national organizer, Honorable Amambe Nywadu as the women organizer, Honorable Haruna Drisu as the youth organizer, Honorable Fifi Kwete as the propaganda secretary. This was a very solid front line for the party. And looking at the team that has been put in place by the delegates themselves for 2020 elections, I strongly believe that the turnaround is also coming again.
You heard there Samuel Ofosu Ampo for newly elected chairman of the NDC. From that slot, let's head to the Deputy General Secretary position. Former Deputy General Secretary Kokoa Nyidoho lost heavily to his boss, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, but General Mosquito says the contest was akin to what he described as a shadow boxing.
Let me say that if you are teaching your son boxing, there will be a time there will be shadow boxing. Okay, so I don't think that...
You felt this was shadow boxing, him just... in a way, just trying to see what he can do?
No, he believed that he could win, but I considered it to be shadow boxing, so I didn't think that there was anything wrong with him at all. And I still have confidence in him the way I did when we were going around first to campaign for him. I still think that there are good things in him that could be beneficial for the party. And so NDC is a big organization. You have a role to play in that organization. And indeed, if you take my history, you realize that anybody who contests against me, or who campaigns against me, or who I suspect votes against me, I try rather to get closer to that person, to seek to understand his reasons for maybe disagreeing with me. It could be out of some lack of information about something. It could be somebody maligning you, which he believed, and so on. So anybody who contests against me, I get closer to that person to try to understand. And in most cases, they turn out to be my campaign managers in the subsequent...
General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, he's also been hinting of eyeing an even higher position within the party. But really, what does this new crop of leadership mean for the NDC in their chances in the 2020 general elections? Let's hear political science lecturer of the University of Ghana, Dr. Ali Duseidu.
So if you look at the MPP's chairman, he's a veteran politician. He's been there since. If you match his political experience to that of the currently elected NDC chairman, you see that he's a little bit ahead in terms of his involvement in party politics. Samia Aku is a very nice man who is able to mobilize. You know, he's done it in the past as the youth organizer, and he's a very great strategist because mobilization is very crucial. If you look at one of the reasons that contributed to the defeat of the NDC in 2016 was very poor mobilization. And what Akamba has to do is to work closely with people who have been in those particular positions and people who have the competence that he lacks, so that he'll be able to gel the executive as a team, and then that mobilization can help them be able to win. Jemfi had a lot of big wigs supporting him, no matter, regardless of he being a new entrant, and was able to marshal a huge difference between him and Fred. But that's still notwithstanding, he's a very nice guy, very articulative. He can argue in a very rational manner and then logical conclusions and all those things. The MPP's communication, appointed communication, is a well-known guy. He's very good. a lawyer by profession. He has done this work before. So I think if you look at that particular level, maybe in terms of experience, you rank the NPP a little bit higher than the NDC. But in terms of match for argument and then logical conclusion and then factual evidence, I think they're going to be at par.
Dr. Ali Seidu, but the election of the national executives did not end without hitches, as Mr. Kwadwo Aduasare, who contested the position of Deputy General Secretary, raised concerns over the mix-up of his name on the ballot paper. Listen to a member of his campaign team, Dalasi John Ahama.
My man is a man of peace. He spoke to the supporters and they were calm. But we've been handed a raw deal. You can see the sorting is over. And from the sorting, my candidate has lost the election. But it is not fair that somebody files with Kwadwo Aduasare. You go and print the ballot papers and you put Justice Yeboah there.
You heard there Mr. Hama, who is campaign coordinator for Kwadwo Aduasare. Of course, we'll get some answers from the party later on. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come, Mamobi General Hospital recording increasing cases of diarrhea and other diseases attributed to poor sanitation in Zogo communities of Nima and its environs.
Look here, we have space. It's all about the money.
How can a landlord say he don't have money while you have millions of cities to build and then you don't have money to even build small toilet facility? Does it make sense?
As we mark World Toilet Day today, the Joy News Help Desk takes you to the affected communities and investigates why landlords are increasingly providing air conditioners for their tenants instead of toilet facilities. And later, former UBS banker Kweku Adoboli vows to fight what he describes as crude deportation processes by UK authorities.
We will keep fighting. We will change the law. We will get the Shaw Amendment so that those who were born or brought up in the UK should no longer be deported.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. It's time for the latest from the world of sports. Gary is in the studios. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the opening game. How did it go?
For the women?
Yes, for the women. Of course, for the women.
Yes, it's going well. And the first round of matches are over, so it will resume tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. However, in the men's game, Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan says finishing top of their AFCON 2019 qualifying group is priority ahead of the final clash with Kenya and Ghana next March. Jordan Ayew's pair of first half goals gave the Black Stars a 2-0 win against Ethiopia in Addis, and now Ghana are in pole position to qualify for the Nations Cup. But Gyan, who watched from the bench, wants the team to finish hard.
Overall, we're doing what we wanted to see, and honestly, I'm very, very happy for this victory. Our game plan really, really worked. Despite the weather conditions and the field conditions, we were able to deliver today. So I'm very, very happy. Yeah, we have to top the group. That is our main focus right now. We have to top the group. We are playing against Kenya in March. So that will be our main focus. We are playing Accra.
So, like he says, the next one will be in Ghana. Interestingly, we also have news that 13 countries have qualified for the African Cup of Nations. I'll run you through them. Cameroon, the host nation, Egypt, Madagascar, Mali, Morocco, Nigeria, Senegal, Tunisia, Uganda qualifying for the first time in many, many years, Algeria, Guinea, Ivory Coast, and for the first time ever, Mauritania. That's the list of 30. We have 11 more to go.
That's your sports with Gary Al Smith. Now, the Mamobi General Hospital that serves the Zongo community of Nima and its environs has over the past 2 years been recording increasing cases of diarrhea and other water and sanitation related diseases. Doctors at the hospital blame this partly on the lack of toilet facilities in many homes in the area. As the world marks Toilet Day today, Joy News' Joseph Akable has been to Nima and reports landlords are rapidly expanding their facilities, fixing air conditioners, but failing to provide toilets.
4.5 billion people in the world live without safe toilets. 892 million people across the globe practice open defecation. The United Nations attributes this to a lack of place of convenience in many homes. This reality is playing out strongly in the Accra community of Nima and Mamobi. I am heading to the home of Razak Osman. About 10 people live here without a toilet facility. Razak says they have space for a toilet but could not take advantage of an AMA subsidized toilet program. He does not have money, he argues.
It's all about the money. The AMA offered to support us build a toilet, but we do not have the financial muscle. They did not give a specific amount, only a piece of paper to write our names. But the figures we heard from people deterred us from even going to their office. Look here, we have space. It's all about the money.
A former assemblyman of the area, Hafiz Abubakar, disagrees with Razak's excuse.
Almost about 60% don't have toilets in their homes. How can a landlord or landlady who say he don't have money, while you have money, millions of cities to build, and then you don't have money to even build small toilets facility? Does it make sense?
The effect of this worrying situation has taken a toll on the staff of the Mamobi General Hospital. Our checks reveal rising cases of water and sanitation-related diseases. For the year 2017, 1,076 cases of diarrhea were recorded, with malaria topping OPD cases with 2,291. Just half year 2018, 1,481 cases of diarrhea have so far been recorded, 405 cases more than what was recorded in 2017. Ayawaso Sub-Metro Acting Director of Health Services, Dr. Anfu Okain, tells Joy News the situation will not improve if urgent steps are not taken to provide residents with toilet facilities. While the residents of Nima Mamobi wait for a lasting means of responding when nature calls, they move in their numbers to the few public places of convenience as the sun rises.
My name is Mohammed Musa. These toilets, if you hear where they work, I work almost getting to 10 years. Where I started this work for here. If I did here, some people that they come here, they bring complaint. They say the sanitation no good.
I observed the movement of people in and out of the toilets. No provision has been made in terms of water and soap for them to wash their hands when they are done. A good number of the homes in this neighborhood surprisingly have installed air conditioners in the rooms. It appears toilets are the least of their concerns. The United Nations expectation that everyone has a safe toilet by 2030 may well remain a mirage. Joseph Akable, Joy News, Nima.
Happy World Toilet Day. Now, just before we go, the former UBS banker who was deported from the UK after serving jail time for rogue trading in 2011, Kweku Adoboli, is vowing to fight what he describes as crude deportation processes at the hands of UK authorities. Mr. Adoboli told Israel Eye in an exclusive interview he was bundled onto a plane like a cargo and brought back to Ghana. Listen.
Although it is heartbreaking to have been deported from the UK, my old home, and although I'm still fighting to get that back as well as here, there is nothing more humbling than coming home to your family and realizing that they also must celebrate the moment that you come home, because it is the first time in 7 years that I am free. And because I am free, they are free too. It's just so difficult, because when you contrast the welcome of Ghana against the violence and the draconian policy of the UK in sending me here in the way that they did, those pictures reflect what it does to a human being to be deported violently in the way that I was. This fight is not over. It's not really goodbye. I don't think that we lost. I don't think it's over. We will keep fighting. We will change the law. We will get the Shaw Amendment so that those who were born or brought up in the UK should no longer be deported. That's what we're fighting for.
The most important thing is you're home and free.
I need to stop crying, but yes, you're right. I am home and I'm free.
No place like home, they say. You heard Kweku Adobole is a former UBS banker there interacting with Israel Laye. There's more in that interview, exclusive interview with Israel Laye on all our platforms here at Multimedia. And just before we go, what's trending on social media?
Absolutely. The Belgian goalkeeper Courtois is trending after his team conceded 5 goals to 2 to Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's so much on social media about Courtois. I tell you. Like now, DC right. Courtois, please throw in some more balls. I need it. And then we have Vintage Eden also saying that on the same night, Kepa keeps a clean sheet and Courtois concedes 5.
By balls, they mean football, right? Football. Okay, and that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apau. A great week has just started. Enjoy.
Your superstation.